You may need to settle in for this, but we have discovered something crazy about Jay-Z's obsession with Aaliyah, and it is more eerie than we could have ever imagined. Rumor has it that, in addition to being in love with Aaliyah, Jay-Z allegedly engaged in a bidding war to purchase her. We're not talking about purchasing her love with cash and expensive presents, but rather about paying for her child. I thought buying people ended with slavery in 1865. But things get hotter from here because there are several. There are rumors that the people who allegedly sold her are Missy Elliott and Timbaland. As if things couldn't get any stranger, there are also rumors that Jay-Z lost the bidding war, meaning that he wasn't the only bidder. So who else bid on Aaliyah? And does this have anything to do with her suspicious and mysterious death? Let's break down. The stories of what Aaliyah went through in Hollywood are pretty shocking, and that was before we knew what was presently. Concerning her circumstances, she entered the field at a very young age, and regrettably, one of the first people she was trusted with was R. Kelly. As you are all aware, he has been charged with numerous offenses. She married R. Kelly in an illegal ceremony when she was just 15, and he was 27. The marriage was soon annulled, but the fact that it occurred is more than enough to give the industry the side eye because many people were aware of what was going on and chose to ignore it. Following that, Aaliyah began to attract the attention of many men in the industry, which is not surprising given her beauty. In the early 2000s, Aaliyah was the girl, Hollywood's golden star with an unmistakable glow, making her one of the biggest female celebrities at the time. Naturally, many men were attracted to her, and among them were none other than Jay-Z and Dame Dash. Their relationship was already tumultuous, but once they found themselves in a low-key rivalry over the same female things have only gotten more chaotic now. According to insiders, Aaliyah knew she had that pull and wasn't shy about it. She played the game well, enjoying the attention while spending time with various men. As far as she was concerned, she wasn't interested in intimacy. Instead, she enjoyed the praise and expensive presents that came with it. Daisy and Dean, who were both aware that they were competing with one another, were only two of the several people attempting to win her over.
Each other. It's a long story.
So you and Jay was both getting at Aaliyah. Obviously,
everybody was getting at Aaliyah, bro.
Right.
She was like, she'll go to dinner with a. She wasn't.
We've witnessed it happen far too frequently, and it never ends well. Before long, envy began to sneak in, making an already stressful situation worse, and to top it off, two buddies competing for the same woman is a surefire way to terminate things. The fact that Aaliyah was out here going on dates with both of them simply served to exacerbate the situation.
Reason of Rockefeller's birth.
But that's everybody knows. Like we were both.
I heard it, but I didn't.
Yeah, but what they be trying to act like he was like really, but nah, he was sending flowers.
We all know how cruel the industry can be when it comes to women's reputations. The moment people believe a woman has dated more than one man, they begin to label her while the men leave with no repercussions. He essentially confirmed that Aaliyah wasn't getting intimate with any of the men she was hanging out with, which clearly made matters worse because instead of backing off, some of these men began placing bets on who could be the first to seal the deal. Jay-Z was not pleased with this since Aaliyah was obviously aware of the game and made sure no one had the ammunition to use against her. Eventually, Aaliyah began to focus more on Damon.
4th of July, so for some reason this day...
Wait a minute, you, Jay, and Aaliyah ended up...
Back in the day, this singer was an A-list one named Sanger, no, not named Ashanti, who was very young, below legal age. She wanted to be a star, so she listened to them back in the day, female and male A-list rappers, and did whatever they wanted. She did the things they told her to do. and in return they made her a star, this blind item stated. At least that is the official story. However, there came a time when some members of this group started having financial problems. They took out some loans and borrowed more money, but they were unable to escape that hole, so they sold their valuable possessions. One day she was with one group, and the next day she was with this mogul entrepreneur, record executive, and she claimed to be in love with him. She never complained, she never argued, and she was the ideal person to put on display if something ever came up that would show you an example of brainwashing. The A-list rapper mogul she loved believed he had won the bidding for her. The winner grew weary of having to conceal all the other women, but the public didn't understand, so our mogul had to conceal and keep things secret. Fortunately for him, the matter was resolved on its own. Many claim he handled it on his own. The blind item went on to disclose that the singer was Aaliyah, a male and female A-list rapper with Missy Elliott and Timbaland. The record executive and mogul was Damon Dash. The A-plus list rapper mogul who had an affair with her was Jay-Z, and she tragically passed away in a plane crash. Aaliyah worked with Missy Elliott and Timbaland for the remainder of her career after splitting from R. Kelly. And we assumed that they had a close working relationship, but it may have been more. It's also sad, and I know that this is all alleged information, but I suppose we shouldn't be too shocked given that many people watched her get taken advantage of by R. Kelly. The blind item also showed how angry Jay-Z was when he lost the bidding war for Aaliyah, saying, "The one that got away," back in the early 2000s at one of the biggest summer parties in the Hamptons thrown annually. One of the longest friends and business colleagues of a certain A-list hip-hop billionaire, Sean Diddy Combs, who was well known for his love of all-white clothing, was already a rising star in the rap game, and the two were engaged in a covert struggle. Both men had their sights set on a young, beautiful singer named Aaliyah, who had an angelic voice and a quiet mystique that made her even more alluring. That night, however, the competition intensified due to alcohol, ego, and an unspoken bet. Damon Dash was smooth with his words and always had the long term in mind, while Jay-Z was a flashy, fast-talking hustler who loved the thrill of the chase and the prize. She was more than just another love interest. He saw them as a power couple and a musical dynasty. When he succeeded, the blind item continued. The first one played the long game, believing that patience would pay off, but the other made his move quickly. By the night after the party ended, he was already boasting about his victory, saying that he had been the first to make it happen with her. Years later, the wounds had not fully healed, and the loser still harbors resentment, not only because he cared for her, but also because he knows the other man, who was once a friend but is now hardly an associate, never valued her as much as he did. He smirks at the Cavalier way his ex-partner tossed it in his face. And even though she is no longer with him, the recollection still hurts because he longs to know whether things would have turned out differently. If you don't believe this, consider this. Dame didn't explicitly tell Jay-Z that he had finally been with Aaliyah, but Jay-Z discovered it because it had happened at a 4th of July party that they had all attended. Dame himself made reference to this in an interview a few years ago.
This is going to be hard for me because he was throwing, because his friends were laughing at him.
I might have a question since we're talking about Aaliyah, and ignore me if it's too much, but do you have any opinion on the R. Kelly situation? Do you think he got railroaded or he...
The blind item's statement makes sense, doesn't it? Dame also disclosed that, because he was angry, he knew Jay-Z would make things difficult for him.
Opinion on the R. Kelly situation? Do you think he got railroaded or he's where he belongs?
The situation was the last straw for Jay-Z, who felt that Dame had betrayed him outright. Their friendship and business partnership had already been strained, but this was the final straw. Jaguar Wright has previously discussed this issue and stated that Aaliyah was the true cause of their rift.
That he will slump anyone in any relationship for $1. Look at how he did Dame. Like, I don't give a if you wanted to get away from your homie, if you wanted to get away from your partner, but to do it the way he did it, it's malicious. But maybe that was because he was...
What do you think about Jay-Z and Damon Dash competing for Aaliyah? Leave your thoughts in the comments section below, and then watch this next video. It's incredible that things like this were allegedly happening right in front of us, and no one even knew what was happening. Aaliyah endured a lot at the hands of industry professionals who were more than willing to take advantage of a young girl who merely wanted to establish herself in the field.